And, Special Olympics, that's something special, being an athlete and being able to do the things that I love, staying fit and playing with other people with disabilities. It shows like, hey, we can do these things that we love. We just need to be given that opportunity. And with the Special Olympics, I'm able to do that. One of my greatest gifts is stepping out of my comfort zone and sharing my story to others and inspire parents. And by doing that, I've been able to go to these different conferences and travel solo, which I never thought was possible. But anytime we have these meltdowns, we don't mean it. We just have a tough time explaining what our brain feels. And because of that, the brain gets so overwhelmed, which causes the meltdowns, even though we don't mean to. It's almost like Mentos and Diet Coke.
Pressure. All right, today's guest, this is the Unspecial Podcast. Today's guest is someone who has become a powerful voice in the autism community through honesty, vulnerability, and hope. Through sharing the realities of life with autism, the challenges, the victories, the unexpected lessons, and everything in between. He has impacted countless families who often feel unseen and misunderstood. And you may know him from Instagram as Martin's Autism Life, where he gives you a front row seat into his journey and his life with autism. He is the author of Chatterbox, of which he wrote with his mom. He's an advocate in the Special Olympics community, which I love these Special Olympics. So much fun. If there's anything I could do as far as advocacy wise that I enjoy the most, is Special Olympics.
Mm-hmm.
And he is a founder of Spire Autism, which we'll talk about. What did you say? Sorry. City Hall, autism acceptance, and just really doing a lot in the community. Martin, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you for having me on. And, Special Olympics, that's something special, being an athlete and being able to do the things that I love, staying fit and playing with other people with disabilities. It shows like, hey, we can do these things that we love. We just need to be given that opportunity. And with the Special Olympics, I'm able to do that.
Oh, 100%. 2021, I moved up to North Idaho,
Mm-hmm.
and I was teaching a life skills class. And it was, COVID was the year before. So we're fresh off COVID, and
Right.
all the restrictions were starting to lift. And the school hadn't really done any like gathering for a year.
Right.
And so I got to class, and I had these two exceptional teacher aides, helpers. They were students, and they would come in and help me, do whatever. And I went up to them like, hey, we need to start a Olympics at this high school. So we started the All-Star Olympics, and it was the first year in 2021, and we rallied the whole school. We had welding made the medals. We had ASB making all the signs.
That's so cool.
We had it on the announcements, and we had like 150 students came out to the field. I had the Olympic music going. We had 4 events, and it was rocking. All the faculty was there. And then a lot of people afterwards were like, that was the coolest thing I've ever done. But I can't like just not go full send, 100% in. So, I painted, all my students were painted up. They had headbands on.
That's so awesome.
All the business class made shirts. It was probably the highlight of my teaching career.
That's really cool.
And it's actually, I only taught at that school for 1 year. And they still do it to this day. They just had their 5th one.
That's awesome.
Yeah. All right. So for people meeting you for the first time,
Mhm.
who are you? Who is Martin?
So I am, as stated in the intro, the business owner, public speaker, book author, Special Olympics athlete, um, award-winning disability advocate, and I also am a music producer. So I create electronic music.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow. Okay. So what were some of the earliest memories you have realizing that you experienced the world maybe a little bit differently than others?
I would say probably when I was 3 years old, and I know autistic people are have really good memory. I remember three. I still wasn't able to say my first words yet, and so I would try to. I'd stretch my neck and make some sounds to try to speak. I did have a tough time, and I, for some reason, when I was that age, it was either 3 or 4 before I said my first words. I would put books on my head to pretend or thinking that it was going to help me speak.
Oh wow.
And yeah, so before my autism diagnosis at 5, I went to speech therapy with and it took me a few months to say my first words, but still to this day, I keep in touch with my speech therapist, and I knew I don't like using the word different. I'm going to be honest, but
Okay.
I knew I was my own unique self compared to others.
Gotcha. Gotcha. That's a good way
Yeah,
to put it. What is like what it's so hard in culture nowadays in society and just the whole conversation around autism,
yeah,
um, with not offending people.
yeah.
Like what? Because here, let me back it up. The what could offend you wouldn't offend somebody else, but what offends somebody else maybe doesn't offend you. So it's like
Right.
it's hard to how to describe things or say things. But for you, like, what is the most offensive?
To me, it doesn't, not a whole lot offends me. And when I
Yeah.
talk to other aut autistics, I always ask them like, hey, like let's just say if they get offended by how I pronounce their name or their pronouns or whatever, I ask them like, hey, how is it you want me to pronounce this? Or like, is there any specific words that trigger you? Let me know and I'll make sure that I avoid saying that.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Because I always like I my heart behind the Unspecial platform and podcast and everything is to really have a space for the special needs community to be seen and heard.
Definitely.
And I realize that maybe I'll say the wrong thing here and there or say something that I don't necessarily mean, but it comes across that maybe it's offensive. But
Right.
like for example, like when I was in my teaching credential program back in 2015, we were taught not to call autistic individuals autistic. It was
Hmm.
individuals with autism.
Right.
Nowadays it's flipped. It's like
Yeah.
that's offensive now. So it's like
Yeah.
it's always evolving and changing. I guess mostly what I'm trying to say is I believe everyone is born with a purpose, has a purpose, and is born
Definitely.
for a purpose. So
Yeah.
that's where I am at. So what would be the hard? What was the? How old are you?
I will be around 35. I'll be 36 this year.
Okay, so back in whew, 30, so we're all about the same age. So you were born in 89, 90?
I was, yep, born in 90 and then diagnosed at 95.
Okay. So back in the day,
Mhm.
there wasn't much advocacy going on. It wasn't really a lot going on in the autism space as
Yeah,
comparative to today. What was
yeah.
like what was the hardest part growing up?
Accepting myself that I was my own unique self compared to others. Um, and I know back in the day, teachers really didn't understand us, and
Yeah.
so most of the time I didn't get receive support, and even got taken advantage of by a couple teachers and students. And the
Mm,
worst part, when getting bullied, like it happened in front of the teachers, but the teachers would turn a blind eye. I was like, really?
wow.
And so that's why I didn't really accept I was autistic until I wrote my book. But yeah, it's difficult, and I tried to be open more, but sometimes it takes a lot of effort.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Have you been up in Northern California your whole life?
Yeah.
Yeah, same town.
Yep.
Okay, okay. So do you have a lot of the same friends growing up, or was it easy to make friends when you're younger?
Oh no, even to this day I still struggle with that. And
Yeah,
but I try my best because I struggle with conversation starting. I most of the time wait for them to start a conversation with me, but now that I'm grown up, it's a lot more difficult. So I'm trying to step out of my comfort zone and start a conversation first. But
gotcha.
I still struggle with that.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm with you there. I have a hard time. I'm like a one on one, easy for me, like small setting, like
Right.
conversation. But anytime I get in a big circle of people, I'm like, I'd rather just stand in the back and not talk.
That is so me too.
Yeah, it's so much.
Yeah.
Um, what what are some of the greatest like gifts autism has brought into your life?
Well, that's a good question. Usually nobody asks that, so hopefully sometimes it takes my brain a little bit to come up with an answer sometimes.
Yeah,
One of my greatest gift is stepping out of my comfort zone and sharing my story to others and inspire parents. And by doing that, I've been able to go to these different conferences and travel solo, which I never thought was possible. So
whoa,
I mean, yeah. So I mean, I've spoken in Dubai,
whew.
Seattle, Portland, Columbus, New Jersey, and then potentially in November in Baltimore.
Wow, wow.
Yeah.
Do you get nervous?
Yeah. Yeah, I will admit, especially when traveling. I mean, we have this thing called the Sunflower Lanyard, which
Uh-huh.
shows like for people with disabilities, it shows the airport like, hey, these are the accommodations that we need. And some airports are good at that. Others are like, we've never heard of that. So there's still a little discrepancy, but honestly, it's been a lifesaver. And, the more speaking engagements I do, the more I feel like that's kind of my calling, hope
Hmm.
sharing my story in hopes that it inspires others to push towards their dreams and to help parents know, like, hey, everything will be okay. And you have a wonderful support system, whether you see it or not.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. What's the most amount of people you've spoken to?
Um, oh, that's a tough one. My recent one in New Jersey, it was a standing room only.
Whoa.
So like 100, well, the that was about like 100 people max, because people were still trying to come in, but they weren't able to. I would say the legislative luncheon here in San Jose. So they have 350 to 400 politicians, and I would say
Jeez.
that was my biggest one. And you know, where yeah, that was my biggest, and it was quite the eye opener.
I bet. I
Yeah.
bet. Oh man. How long did you talk for?
Um, for the legislative luncheon, it was about 5 minutes. In New Jersey, it was about an hour. So they like with these conferences, we only get like about an hour to speak or so.
Wow.
Um, the most impactful, I would say, was in Columbus with the College Autism Summit, and I talked about the key to self-acceptance.
Ooh.
Yeah.
What's the key? Summarize
Just,
it for me.
oh boy, I wish I still had the notes. Um, yeah, just being your true authentic self, and by doing so, like do what you love, and like even when it comes to working, like let's just say somebody really loves being an educator or like working as a teacher, you can do that. And I know there may be some roadblocks, but if you love it, do it. And then one of the biggest keys also is self-care. Self-care is
Mm,
super important. I still forget that. I'm going to be honest. I
yeah.
still forget to do that. And that's probably one of the biggest keys because to be at our best, we have to work on self-care.
Totally. Totally. What are some self care routines that you have? Like for me, I go to the gym every morning at 5, and then I get
And I wish I
home,
could do that.
and at 6:15 I go in the ice bath.
I've
I'm
thought
st- I'm
about doing that.
I'm still shivering right now. It's eight
Right.
thirty a.m. I'm still cold.
Oh man, I've thought about a nice bath, but because of my back surgery I had, I was like, I don't know if that'll be good. But yeah, no, for me, going on daily walks, hitting the gym, working on my music. I mean, I have 4 songs that I'm currently working on, and I love it. Or even poetry writing.
Oh wow. Yeah. Yeah, it's so easy to overlook these things. But when you like think of it just like logically,
Mhm.
you know, you have to show up for yourself before you can show up 100% for anything or anyone else.
Exactly.
And it's so easy when you get busy and everything is just flying through the days to forget those small things. And then your body pays a price,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
your mental clarity too.
Yeah.
What uh what does a day in the life look like for you?
Um, Wake up, go to my usual coffee shop, kind
Nice.
of sit there for a bit, work on write some speeches if there's an upcoming conference, work a little bit on music, then go to the gym for about 30, 45 minutes, and then the hydro bed after that's all. The hydro bed's incredible.
What's a hydro bed?
So it's kind of like a water bed, and so you're either laying flat or kind of sitting in a chair, and it helps with it kind of adds pressure to the
Oh,
muscles, yeah,
oh,
to help loosen them up, like with like hamstring, or like with me, I focus it on my lower back because after my back surgery, I have pain daily, and so I use the hydro bed to focus on that one spot, and it's like incredible.
And it's like shoots water, like a
Yeah, kind of like
massage.
under the yeah. It's kind of like under like it shoots water kind of like under I forget the material that the chair
Yeah.
has, but it adds pressure and it's like a 10-minute thing.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Oh man. All right. So you get out of the gym. What else do you
hmm
do?
Um, if it's a school day, I head home, grab my stuff, go to class from on some days it's 9 a.m. until about 4:30, depending.
Oh
Some of
wow.
these classes are like 3, 4 hours long, and it's like, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What
I'm
do
doing
you?
my
What?
practicum this semester, so
Okay.
almost done with my bachelor's.
Nice. At San
Yep.
Jose State.
Yep. Child and adolescent development major.
Okay. What's the end goal?
The end goal is to, after going for my master's, working as a school counselor or even as a speech therapist or even potentially working on the political side of things to make sure that students have access to schools. And I really want to give back what I received as a child, and so
Hmm.
kind of doing stuff like that.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
You'd be good at that. That's good. So, what are some misconceptions about autism that you would put to bed? There's a lot of them.
Yeah, there is. They actually did a YouTube video on this, and I'll have to send you the link later for that.
Yeah.
One of the biggest I would say is there's so many. It's like it's hard to pinpoint just one.
Right.
Um, I would say the biggest misconception is that we don't want friends, but we do. And for most of us, the only thing that stops us is kind of like our own self-conscious, like saying, "What if they don't like me?" and stuff like that. And
Mm.
but we make really good friends. We just want to be given the opportunity. And one thing that I always tell people, like a really good way to start a conversation with us is introducing yourself and then saying, "What do you like to talk about?"
Mm-hmm.
And that helps us open up easier.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And then you kind of get on the same playing field if
Yeah.
you're, and then yeah, that's. I mean, that'd be good conversation starter for anybody.
Yeah.
then you're
No,
not ta-
definitely.
Then you're not talking about nonsense that nobody wants to talk about.
Exactly. That's why I always tell people, like, hey, ask us what we liked, like what our favorite subjects is, and then go from there. And you'll see, like, hey, these are great people to make friends with.
Mm-hmm. Would you
Yeah.
say it's harder to make friends in adulthood or when
Oh
you're
yeah.
younger in adulthood?
Oh, both.
Yeah.
Both for sure. And I try to stand out more, but it does become tricky. And uh, I just I know I will be able to. It's going to take a little more time, longer than I thought.
Yeah, yeah. So do you live on your own? Do you have any roommates?
Um, I live with my parents, kind of helping them around the house and stuff like that.
Nice. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So at your school, do you have any
Mhm.
friends at school?
I
Or is there any like Um, like I'm just trying to think. How do you? How do I make friends? How do you make
I
friends?
mean, what I've thought about doing since it's going to be my last semester, joining a club of one of my favorite activities or something
Oh, there
and
you
try
go.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I guess most of the friends I have are from the gym.
There we go.
You know,
Yeah.
because and that's an easy one because I do a group fitness class,
Oh, that's
and
so cool.
and so I see them every day. You know.
Right. Right. But boy, I do a lot. It's
Right.
if I don't do one thing, it's another thing, you know.
Yeah, definitely. Well, that's good. You got to stay busy, you know, because then you can start getting into trouble if you're not busy, right?
Yeah.
So then,
Yeah.
are you? I gotta ask. I gotta ask.
hmm
Are you a Giants fan?
I used to be an A's fan before the owner betrayed us, so it's like I'm kind of a neutral.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I'm a hardcore Dodger fan, so I don't know if we I don't know if we'll be able to continue if you were a hardcore Giants fan. No, I'm just
Oh
kidding.
man,
I
that's funny.
probably the Giants are probably our biggest rival, even though the Padres are right here.
Yeah,
But over the years, historically, it's the Giants.
yeah. Dating back to the New York days, I think.
Yep, yep, definitely. All right, let's talk about Chatterbox. I have not purchased this, but I am going to as soon as we finish because I just love any insight I can get into the world of autism, and it's especially a treat to speak with you because you you live it and you have different perspective that the world needs to know and hear.
Yep.
Um, and I was big on once people can hear it, then it's so much easier. Like, and that's where
Yeah.
advocacy comes into play and
Yeah.
awareness. Because from the onset, I would say like culture and society doesn't, this is just in general terms, doesn't have an open mind. They just
Right.
see some of the outward expressions and then
Exactly.
immediately make up stories in their head and judgments. But
hmm
once you just take some time to get to know somebody that has autism or Down syndrome or whatever it is, it's like I don't know.
Yeah.
I have a blast. I would rather hang out. I mean, that's why I taught special needs. I didn't have any patience for the general ed. Like you
Right.
guys' attitudes bother me. Just get away.
hmm Right.
But yeah, what inspired you to write Chatterbox?
Originally it was supposed to be just a journal entry, and
Oh,
then it took a long time. I'm gonna be honest.
yeah.
Multiple years of writer's block, and then fighting the internal thoughts of like, what if nobody really cares to hear about an autistic person's voice? And then doing some more research, there really wasn't any books that has an autistic person's perspective, let alone a mother's perspective as well. And most of these books are either from like doctors or experts. And
Yeah.
so during all this craziness in 2020, I was like, you know what? We're going to be locked down for a bit. Might as well finish the book. And then I didn't expect the impact it would make on people. I've had families tell me after reading the book that they have hope that their child's going to be okay in the future and that I've helped change their perspective on things.
Oh, that's amazing. That's awesome. Yeah, writer's block is hard. I've written two books, and my first book is called Special Days, Finding God in Special Education.
Oh, that's
It's
awesome.
it's 12 stories from the classroom,
hmm
and then I parallel them with 12 stories in the Bible.
Hmm.
And essentially, once I took a step back and started to see and find God in my days and my students,
Right.
um, it made the day special. But writing it, yeah, it took forever. And some days, you fly through, you get through like 10 pages, you're like, oh, that was good. And then the next day, like, hour goes by and you wrote 4 sentences.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's so true. And then the unique thing I forgot to mention too is when we wrote the book, we didn't read each other's notes until it was actually published
Oh,
because we
wow.
kind of had that feeling of like we might end up changing it. So we waited until the book was published.
That's funny. That's a
Yeah.
good idea because then you can't go back. Point of
Yeah.
no return. What
Yeah.
was uh what was the most difficult thing to share in the book, and what was the most exciting thing to share in the book?
Um, I'm gonna be very honest. I'm not entirely sure.
Mm-hmm.
I do know that I took the most important topics, went from like the early years from what I remember to today, and teachers, um, hobbies, religion, and stuff like that. And I would start off with my side and then my mom's perspective after.
And yeah, it's interesting because you said you have both perspectives. You have your
Yes,
perspective and your mom's perspective, which I think makes it even more powerful.
absolutely. And there, it's it was surprising to know that there really weren't any other books like that.
Hmm. Yeah, I don't know. There's one out called Real Words with Sam,
Hmm.
and it's J. Brad Britton. I had him on the podcast. He wrote the book with his son. His son is a non-speaker
Hmm.
and uses a letterboard to communicate. So
Okay,
there's excerpts from his son in the book, and then also his perspective, which is pretty cool.
that's really cool, actually. I think I know which one
Yeah.
you're talking about, and I think they made it into a movie as well, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, okay.
Or there
Okay.
was one of them about a nonverbal speaker.
Mm, yeah.
Uh,
And so, what has been some of the response from the readers that you've gotten?
um, Mostly from parents, they're like, this is amazing, and it opens my eyes that everything is going to be okay with my child. And when somebody tells me that, it shows that my book made an impact, and I honestly did not expect that at all.
That's so powerful because I feel like from all the parents I talk with, and I've the students and the parents of the students I taught,
Hmm.
like everyone's looking for some hope,
Hmm.
and hope is one of the most powerful things we can give. And so,
Exactly.
Chatterbox, that's awesome.
Yeah.
But you didn't stop there. You went
Nope.
on and decided to start Spire Autism. Tell me about that.
Yeah. I did that in hopes to train teachers how to teach autistic students so we're not left out of the classroom, and to make sure that they are more aware that if we need a break, we should go to like our own little quiet room, because if we're sitting in one spot the whole time, like our brain gets overwhelmed. And I always forget to tell this every time I'm on a podcast, but now I'm glad I'm remembered. But anytime we have these meltdowns, we don't mean it. We just have a tough time explaining what our brain feels. And because of that, the brain gets so overwhelmed, which causes the meltdowns, even though we don't mean to. It's almost like Mentos and Diet Coke, you know? and it's
Oh, wow.
yeah, and so I train teachers, I train first responders how to approach us during emergency, and boy, do I have a wild story about that one. And I also work on creating proclamations with different cities to promote autism acceptance. And I also work with sports teams to promote autism acceptance in the sports world because autistic people deserve to go to these games and have fun.
Yeah, 100%. That's powerful. What's your vision like in 5 years? Where do you hope Spire Autism is at?
Um, to travel to different cities to train instructors, search and rescue, and first responders because, here in California, it's been mostly negative response. And, you see on the news where
Yeah.
like teachers attacking autistic kids, like caught on camera and stuff, and the unfortunate, you know, police interactions where they don't really understand us and the tragic ending of an autistic person's life. And like there needs to be a lot of training, like when we have these meltdowns or we don't know, like it's better to stay calm instead of escalating the situation. So i so that's kind of like where I hope that more training is done. And I also create sensory rooms and sensory bags, so I'm hoping to see some of that taking place in different schools and sports arenas. um, I would say the most impactful part so far is I trained search and rescue in Napa about how to approach us in a calm way so it doesn't escalate. And I told them, like, when autistic kids go missing, the first place to look at is water. For some reason, we're attracted to water. And what I did is I did a mock search and rescue where I pretended I was missing. And I don't realize I do this, but I actually put myself in an actual panic attack because I wanted them to see firsthand how we would react and show the right way to approach us. It does
Wow.
it does take I still have those video recordings, and it took a toll on me, but I do this because people need to see what happens instead of just talking about it.
Yeah, no, that's incredible.
Yeah, and a week later, after I found out that there was an autistic nonverbal kid that went missing, and he was found near a creek. He was unharmed, but
Hmm.
yeah, he was near a creek with water, and they were able to reunite him with his family.
Yeah, it's big. That's big.
Yeah,
It's all in the approach. But if you like you're doing a powerful thing getting awareness out there because if there's not more like you, then first responders they're just not going to know how to respond.
yeah. Just to, it's trying to reconnect again. Hold on, hold on.
Um, oh, it
Okay,
froze
now
again.
it's good. Yeah, now it's back. I
That's
don't
all
know
right.
why.
There you are.
Okay, I got nervous there.
All right. So you've been recognized as an advocate, obviously in the community. When did you realize that like your voice could make a huge difference?
from one of
Because you were
the,
recognized that with the mayor, right?
yes. And I would say after my book, honestly, um, when one of the parents came up to me and said, I have hope that my child is going to be okay. And that's kind
Mm-hmm.
of when I started accepting that I was autistic. And by accepting that, I was able to step out of my comfort zone and do these things like, my voice makes an impact. And it just took that one giant leap of faith to do so.
What encouragement would you give to somebody who is kind of like on the fence of wanting to step out and advocate like you are?
I know the first step is scary, but just know that you have what it takes and your voice deserves to be heard.
Yeah, yeah. All right, so you've accomplished so much as an advocate,
Hmm.
an author, entrepreneur, Special Olympics
Hmm.
athlete, speaker.
Hmm.
What are you most proud of?
I would definitely, oof, I would say all of them, honestly, because without God, I would not have even imagined doing something like this for sure.
Yeah, that's totally. And it's always when you look back, right, and you look back 5 years, and you think like, how did I get to where I am? And what always comes up in my mind is, but God.
Yeah, yeah.
God, God makes it happen. Um, what gives you hope for the future of the autism community?
Knowing that more people are starting to understand us and want to
Yeah,
hear what we have to say.
yeah, that's good. That's good.
And I
What would
even
you
wrote a
tell
poem about it.
Oh yeah, do you have it with you?
Yeah, uh, yeah, I do. I have so many written. Oh, here we go. So funny backstory. Originally, this was supposed to be a a homework assignment, but I decided to share it as my first poem that I wrote,
Uh
and it's
huh.
called "I Am." I am a warrior for change, unique in every way, battling quiet struggles and loud wars every day. My body, marked by stress, tells a story, a testament of strength in all I say and do. I wonder how many trials must test my weary soul in a world that judges scars as if they were a toll. Yet I hear soft whispers of hope for every child, and see eyes lifted upward where dreams run wild. I see the weight of prejudice on every tender face, parents fighting silent battles in a world that won't erase the doubts and hurt that linger when judgment comes too fast. Still together we rise, united, unsurpassed. I want to get the lost so no one fights alone. Our differences unite us in the strength we've known. I am a warrior for change. My disability is not a flaw, but a symbol of resilience, defiant in what I saw. I pretend to wear the armor, though sometimes I feel the strain. Exhaustion weighs me down, yet hope runs through my veins. I touch heart with gentle grace, a beacon in the night. I worry for a world still blind to our inherent right. I cry silent tears in the dark so no one sees me cry. Each droplet tells a story of the strength that we all contain. God will help us through it. Just reach out and pray. I am a light that will not be confined. I say, let no one dim your light. Let your true self shine. I dream of days when labels fade and every soul's embraced, when disability is honored as a beauty interlaced. I try to hold on to hope, though sometimes my strength feels weak. I trust that you'll see the powers in the battles that we seek. I am a warrior for change, through struggles soft and loud, forever proud of every mark that makes us different, bold, and unbound.
That's amazing.
I
I love
appreciate
that
it.
line. I am a warrior for change. That's
Yep.
great. How long did it take you to write that?
I had to get approval from my teacher to extend the due date.
There we go. Hey, you know, when you got words coming out like that, who cares how long it takes?
Yeah, exactly.
It came out. That's so cool. All right, we'll close it out with a couple more questions. How has
Yeah.
sharing your story changed your life?
It's changed my life for the better, and I've been able to do things I never thought I'd do, going to concerts on my own, sporting events, traveling solo. I mean, just doing so many things. It's like, whoa, I was not expecting this. But yet, you know, following God's path, here I am doing stuff, being a leader for the voiceless, and excited to see what the future holds.
Yeah, that's so awesome. And it's such an encouragement for the listeners and myself. And not only just for autistic individuals, but just for anybody listening,
Mhm.
that when you step out, wild, powerful things can happen.
Yep.
So if anyone's feeling stuck,
Mhm.
action is the other side of being stuck. So it's just step out, take some action, find the courage, and see what happens.
Exactly.
got nothing to lose,
Yeah.
right? Just go for it. All right, we'll close it here. At the
Mhm.
end of your life,
Mhm.
what do you hope people say Martin Slingstad? Did I say that right?
You're one of the very few that gets my last name right.
Sweet. Martin Slingstad. What do you hope people remember you for?
That I helped change their life and that they're able to do the things that they love, and just taking that Beeman-esque leap of faith and do it. And also to be known as the one that helped autistics share their story.
Yeah, so good.
Yep.
And Martin can be found on Instagram, Martin's Autism Life.
Hmm.
Um, where else can you be found, and where can we find your book?
It could be found on Amazon. I'll definitely send you the links after this.
Mm-hmm.
On my YouTube channel, where you'll see the autism flag be raised, which was incredible. It's called Martin's Autism Journey, I believe. And then I'm also on LinkedIn, um, Facebook, you name it. I'm everywhere
You're
almost.
there.
Yep.
Perfect. Well, I think the two phrases that were mentioned throughout this recording that I'll remember is be a warrior for change
Hmm.
and be your authentic self.
Yep.
And I think, if you're your authentic self and you
Hmm.
live into the call and purpose that God has for your life, you're going to be a warrior for change. So thank you
Yep.
so much for the encouragement, Martin. And it was an honor to have you on the Unspecial Podcast.
Thank you for having me on.
Yeah.